And emerging platforms such as AI-native data fabrics and metadata-rich data lakes are streamlining these processes while ensuring scalability. To build trustworthy AI, operators are also investing in robust data governance frameworks that preserve data integrity, lineage, and compliance throughout the pipeline. Joining this session are Caroline Chan, she's Vice President and General Manager of 5G at Intel. And next to her is Faiq Khan. He's Senior Vice President and Global Head of Sales, OSS at Rakuten Symphony. And speakers, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Faiq Khan, as always, thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Caroline Chan, you've been giving us your time for 15 years, so we appreciate that. I always like to acknowledge that. Okay, so Faiq, I want to start with you if you don't mind. I want to start with really the aggregation of siloed telecom data for this AI readiness, and really what are the most effective strategies in doing that? And I know it's a tall task.
I think a lot of work to be done, but if I have to simplify the most fundamental strategy, I think digitalize, automate, and autonomize. I believe some places we have done a very phenomenal job. It's a journey. I believe in our industry, in BSS space, in some spaces, the ready to AI nativeness or cloud nativity is much more mature. Believe it or not, in OSS space, still some work to be done. I personally think that a lot of digitalization journey is taking maturity. It's now fundamental to everything what we want to do in our telco space, and it's really powerful. It's going to bring lots of benefits, and you know, it's a journey that we all used to be in vertical silos, and now we are becoming a responsible tenant of a big horizontal journey. So it starts with as basic as that we need to really make sure for telcos that we are completely digitalized. I know in Americas and Europe, a lot of good work is done, but in some parts still some legacy and work to be done. And of course, then automating and automizing on top is most key to this journey.
Yeah, well, let's talk more about monetizing this data. So, it's a tall task and a long task to aggregate, of course, but at some point, and it's happening now, as far as monetizing that data, and as telco AI and those innovations come into play, there's a lot of use cases and applications for that data monetization. You guys were talking about it just before this session. So, Caroline Chan, is there an example you can give about how telcos can monetize that data already?
So, I mean, like, you know, for the last 15 years, we've been talking about how can the telco carrier, who is the closest to the consumer, can move up the food chain, like we talk about, right? And OSS, BSS, the things you have done to digitize and monetize the data is really the first step. We could see, like, I'll give you an example. Like, as I'm walking into a Costco, because I sign up for Google, and when I leave, they actually gets a prompt from Google say, give us a photocopy, take a picture of your receipt and upload it, and I actually get 11 cents back. If it's a return receipt, if I return merchandise, it's 22 cents back. So one can imagine that Google using their AI tools and analyze and provide the insights back to the merchant. Now, in this case, I would think that my carrier, who happened to be AT&T, is the one that actually enabled this. If I didn't put my phone, if I left my phone in my car and walk into the Costco, I'll get nothing. They will not even know the fact that I'm in the store. So there is a good potential for the carrier to take advantage of the fact that they know where I am. In fact, I do a lot of shopping. I go to Amazon and buy things from there, and they know. They know in my subscriber data, my income level roughly, my age roughly, my gender, because as I sign up for the service, they know all of that. If they can actually using their AI tools analyze this and provide a monetization scheme back to the merchant and help them to optimize their offering to me, I think that's a very reasonable business AI insight that they can monetize.
Absolutely. Great example, Caroline. And I think what you're saying is spot on, that telcos has a big role and a big job still to play, how they climb up this value chain. I mean, uh, the classic example, what you said, or we used to go and buy shoes from retail shops. Now we can do retail online shopping through our mobile. Of course, Amazons of the world and Ichibas of the world are making a good fair share of their value, money, and monetization of that. But what really a mobile carrier is doing, and there is so much to be done, that how do they climb this value chain? Today, I mean, even in this event, I was talking with certain mobile operators, and if I have to be polite, non-legacy, non-typical telco revenues are less than 10% in most cases. So there's a lot of work to be done. And cloud nativity, being AI native, is fundamental and basic to it, where we are in this journey. I mean, one more example. I mean, as simple as that if I'm on my phone and if I am, going to booking.com, it's no privacy law violation that a mobile operator doesn't get to know that which travel website I've gone. Can they have a better data monetization use case for that? Potentially. I think in Rakuten journey, we take a lot of pride. I think one of the reasons of Rakuten's success and the success around it, how from a techco we became a telco, while the whole industry is trying to go from the other side to being a techco. We do make a lot of revenues through our data monetization, and that's potentially helping us a lot in this journey, and a lot of work to be done. So very good example. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
But I think the fact that you grew out of Rakuten, meaning that you are cloud native to begin with,
Yeah.
that is a journey that some of the operators still taking. So you are really a step ahead. You are showing how this can be done. I remember the very beginning when Rakuten started Rakuten Mobile in Japan. The theory was that you can really truly leverage your heritage, being
Absolutely.
cloud native. And I think a lot of things that you have done is a very good example of what the telco journey towards a techco could have
It's
been.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about AI, data-centric operations, there's certain tools and platforms that are emerging. You guys touched on it a little bit. Caroline, I'll start with you. Maybe what are some of those, or one of those tools or platforms?
Well, the first thing that Faiq want to talk about is that mindset. Today, a lot of the data is still very siloed, and organizationally, we need to make it a lot more horizontal. We are the tenant in a very large horizontal data platform that we all put in and leverage that data out. I think you have also good example of how to better use the data through labeling a federator.
Yeah, I will pick first on your first point you made. I think we're going in this journey of from being vertical to horizontal tenant. Um, how do we break the silos? I personally think that while we have done a decent job in our industry, a lot more to be done on data federation layer, but we're still being very slow in adoption. And it goes back to always, I like to make this point in any time I get a chance, that we remain a very slow moving industry. And sometimes I feel that a lot of us who are running this industry at the moment are Generation X, and we are influenced by our previous generations. And maybe one day we, as a generation, are going to struggle to make the impact, and possibly not even going to give it to our millennial generation to do anything. And a generational gap to Gen Z coming and doing things radically in making this journey faster is something to look at. I know it's a bit provoking, and I hope that I don't offend. I don't offend anybody. But going back, cloud native, as you said, Rakuten had the privilege to be, from day one being cloud native, virtualized, microservices driven. A lot of telcos have moved into that. We're being AI native. But I think on the data federation layer, the data labeling, the whole ETL layer, a lot more work is to be done. I know everybody is moving into agentic modeling. So a lot of good work, but still to be done more.
Faiq, as your conversations with your customers, your enterprise customers, are becoming more consultative, right? And you're providing more of these digital services outside of the typical realm of what a telco would provide. How is AI really driving network innovation to be able to make you to allow you to do that? And if you can give us an example that might resonate with the audience.
I think some of examples we already covered. I believe that currently in our telecom industry, another data and figure that it's 1.3 trillion industry, and 90% of it is cost. And there is so much of complexity and legacy. And today we were talking in some of the sessions, and one of my colleague has earlier said that it's not about managing complexity, it's about removing complexity. So, imagine that if we're gonna get the full fruition out of this AI journey, we're gonna get our margins and our costs lower and profitability increases. Now, while we're gonna be really ready with being AI ready for our operational improvements, I think it's very central that we need to be using it for business and data monetization. I think we already kind of covered some of the examples, but whether it's Adidas, shopping and how a mobile subscriber can monetize better, or how we talked about booking.com or some other examples which we do in Rakuten are potentially areas where we can do better. I don't know if Caroline.
You've been helping a lot of telco doing automation, even level 4 automation. I mean, that takes a lot of the unnecessary busy work out of the business process. That is margin improvement. And I was just sharing that I happen to be on the board of a manufacturing company. It's a mid-cap company. We want to do AI, obviously, to optimize our production, saving costs on some of the chemistry mix that we use. Is a battery manufacturing company. And we need the model. We need a really good scaled AI model to help us achieve that. And the work that we're doing here, telco as a journey to telco, helps the broader industry to scale AI across as well. I mean, I really felt like we are in one of the frontier of doing this. You see the fact that we're all here, we talk about two and a half days about this, a lot of learning that we can share with us and with our enterprise customers, bring that to the enterprise customer, help them to scale AI is a way for the to accelerate transformation from telco to telco.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Caroline Chan of Intel, it's always good to have your insight and your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. And Faiq Khan, thanks for putting this together and giving us your time as well.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate
Pleasure
it.
to be here.
And thank you to Rakuten Symphony for hosting this the last couple of days.
Pleasure is all mine.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.